again. Hello. I am back because lo and behold, on a day that I was planning on just kind of binging some anime for research, I promise, because I want to get into anime one day. So I watch a lot of anime, so I can I need to learn how to do ADR. But anyway, on a day that I was just planning on binging a bunch of anime before my game that I play on the D&D session that I play on Thursday with a bunch of other voice actors. Fucking Wizards of the Coast decides to drop another Arcana just randomly, which is great. And I know that a while ago in some of my streams, if you've noticed on my channel that I haven't really been posting many videos or edited videos, that's because I have wanted more time for voice acting related stuff. And I noticed I was just spending a lot of time editing things, and it's all hobbies, so I can shift things as I like. Plus, I still work a full-time job. So I did say, though, that I would still do videos on any D&D, official D&D Wizards of the Coast shit that comes out, because I still absolutely adore D&D, and I love it. It is like one of my main things, the main passions in my life. I have three main hobbies right now, all right? Voice acting, which I want to make my career. Doing this YouTube stuff and Twitch stuff just because I find it kind of fun. I have been having fun. And D&D. I play D&D a lot. Like, I have 2 games every week. It might turn into 3. It might turn into 4 soon. So we'll see. Anyway. Not to delay this any longer, you see, D&D has released the Villainous options on Unearthed Arcana with 4 new subclasses: Cleric, Pestilence Domain; Druid, Circle of the Titan; Fighter, Hell Knight; and the Sorcerer, Demonic Sorcery origin. Which is very interesting, because evil characters are very fun to make. They're fun to make. Playing actual evil in an evil campaign, I've not seen done much. I've had a few friends of mine that have tried, but then they just it's hard to do, right? It's hard to do, but it does not mean we can't use these subclasses for more heroic characters and be like anti-hero stuff, and also just more options is more options. But on top of the 4 subclasses, they also have, they're testing out this paths of villainy thing, groups of feats that provide characters a path towards thematic archetypes. 2 paths of villainy in this document are the path of Death Knight and the path of the Lich. Okay. Oh, hold on. You see, important thing. This is my first time looking. I saw the post on Twitter from Wizard of the Coast, D&D's Twitter or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, cool, I've got a D&D video I need to make. But I have not actually looked at any of the subclass stuff or any of the thing here. I just knew what it was. So does this mean this is groups of feats that provide characters a path toward thematic archetypes? So does that mean how with the Faerun feats they had the base feat, and then at level 4 you could take a feat if you had this other one. They have that, but then that leads us towards being a Lich properly, or a Death Knight, which from what I saw is just an undead warrior. Not a Lich, but like an undead warrior. Anyway, that we'll have to look at that stuff later. If they are feats, I wasn't sure if I was gonna look at it in this video, but if they are feats, then I just might. But anyway, we'll see how many times I say anyway today. And by the way, again, these are just my thoughts off the cuff, off the top of my brain. If I miss anything, if some kind of combo doesn't appear in my brain, I don't talk about it, then feel free to leave that down below and call me an idiot in the comments, because I appreciate people pointing things out. I remember the last video I did, there was a combo that I immediately, after I watched some other person's video, it was like, oh, that's how it works. It was about the Magic Stealer Rogue, and I thought, I was concerned. I completely just went over my head that you could do most of its features with your party casting spells as well. But anyway, getting on to it though, Pestilence Domain Cleric. Uh, foment plague, foment plague and rot. I don't know what that word is. Because I'm stupid. Clerics of the Pestilence domain harass their supernatural plague and decay to erode their enemy's vitality. Though common folk often regard Pestilence as a force of rampant destruction, clerics of this domain wield it with surgical precision. The Pestilence domain is associated with the gods of poison, disease, and famine. Poison, disease, famine, and rot. These deities use blighted crops, magical outbreaks, blah blah blah, thematic stuff. I get it. We get it, right? You're a cleric of the plague. We're bringing Nurgle out, boys. We're worshiping Nurgle, guys. For all of you people that vaguely know what 40k is, because that's also something I'm really into. Mostly the books and the video games. Rogue Trader's great. Play Rogue Trader anytime you get the chance. Anyway, at level 3, we get Blight Weaver. Is it inoculated? Man, I'm gonna butcher some of these words, man. Forewarning. Anyway, whatever this word is, soul. You have resistance to necrotic and poison damage, and you can't be infected by magical contagions. Okay. So you're immune to specifically magical diseases? They might want to clarify what that means. But outside of that, getting necrotic and poison damage resistance, poison damage is very common. Nowadays, I think necrotic is pretty common too. So those are some pretty fucking solid damage resistances there. Like you be a dragonborn or something and get like fire resistance or something as well, and you're sitting good. Dragonborn pestilence. I don't know. But they also have rot and faster. Damage from your cleric spells and class features ignores resistance to necrotic and poison damage. Additionally, when you cast a cleric spell or use a cleric feature that deals either necrotic or poison damage, you can change that damage to the other type. Oh, so inflict wounds, right? It does necrotic damage, so you can have inflict wounds do poison damage, or vice versa. Take a poison damage spell and take and make it do necrotic damage. That's interesting. And I assume we're gonna see a lot of that in the domain spell list. That I assume that is going to play down here. In fact, why don't we look at it? Detect poison and disease, the pestilence domain spells, yada yada. I hope you guys know. I'm not here to explain everything to you, but a lot of subclasses get extra spell slots and stuff if you happen to be new to D&D. But anyway, detect poison and disease makes sense. Protection from poison makes sense, I guess. I mean, yeah, this is going to be a thematic spell list, so it might not be fantastic. But protection from poison, Ray of Enfeeblement, Heaven Brave Enfeeblement is great. This because I assume if we're talking poison and stuff, then we're going to be debuffing a lot of things, right? We're going to be debuffing a lot because that's kind of what that thematic is usually. And then we get Ray of Sickness. True. I mean, there's always chance. If I remember, does Ray of Sickness do poison damage or necrotic damage? Yeah, fuck it, man. I can pull up stuff I want. I don't have all the time in the world here because I got D&D in a few hours, but I have time. I have the time. I have Ray. Not Ray. Oh, I guess it's Ray. That makes sense. Ray of Enfeeblement, Necromancy spell, disadvantage on the next attack roll. Strength based 20 test. Retracts. A beam of Constitution saving throw, disadvantage on the next attack roll. Okay, fair enough. And then Ray of Sickness. Takes the poison condition and has the poison condition. So, I mean, hey, Ray of Sickness could be a spell that you might want to use now because normally poison damage isn't great because there's a lot of resistance to poison damage. But yeah, you can shift that to necrotic damage, and probably people aren't going to resist necrotic damage unless you're talking about a lot of undead stuff. So that could be interesting. Stinking Cloud, which I know does Stinking Cloud. Stinking Cloud, I know, does poison damage too, doesn't it? Or no, it doesn't. I'm full of shit. Heavily Obscured. That's a poison condition. Oh, wait. Hey here. You can't be affected by magical contagions. Does that mean you're immune to spells like Stinking Cloud? Or whatever, like Stinking Cloud or Contagion that I assume we'll get later. Is that immune to your? Because if that's the case, then maybe this, because normally maybe they could be interesting to just be like within this area, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, they need to probably describe what being immune, can't be infected by magical contagions actually means. But we'll see. Vampire Viric Touch makes sense. Blight, Giant Insect, Contagion, Insect Plague. Those are all, I'm pretty sure, what I'm going to see from a lot of the other what are they called? Optimizers. That this is not going to be a very good list, but it is a very thematic list, and I will happily take a thematic list over a pick the here's all the good spells list. Because what any time of the week. Sorry, I'm rambly. I am kind of like, it's just how I am. I talk, I ramble, I do whatever I want. Anyway, at level 3, we also get Plague Blessing. As a magic action, you can present your holy symbol and expend the use of Channel Divinity to manifest a 5-foot emanation of withering plague that surrounds you or one willing creature you touch for 1 minute. It ends early if you dismiss it, no action required, manifest it again, or have it or have the incapacitated condition. Each creature of your choice that starts its turn in the emanation must succeed a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or gain 1 exhaustion level. This figure can't increase the creature's exhaustion level higher than a level equal to your wisdom. Okay, thank God. Wait a second. Holy shit, that's good. I mean, it's a con save. It's a con save. Yeah, a lot of creatures have really good constitutions, but like even at level 3, I mean, if you build your character right, you could easily have like a +3 or a plus, and later on you get a +5, and +5 is 1 level down from just straight up killing anything. And remember, in the 2024 rules, every level of exhaustion is -2 to pretty much every roll. Any D20 roll, if I remember, exhaustion. Yeah, fuck it. Let me fact check myself, because I'm not an idiot. God, but also, by the way, I can't spell worth a damn. So we're making this easy on myself. Paste exhaustion. 2014 exhaustion condition, right? Exhaustion. Where is it? Down here somewhere, right? Exhaustion condition. Nothing condition. The condition is cumulative every time you're seated. If you die, your exhaustion level is 6. When you make a D20 test, the roll is reduced by 2 times your exhaustion level. Right. Your speed is reduced by a number of feet equal to 5 times your exhaustion level, and you only long rest your dear God, the Plague Cleric already. For example, if you have a wisdom score of 16, this feature can increase your exhaustion level higher than 3. But this is it lasts for 1 minute, 5-foot emanation. It's not a very big radius. But with new Cleric, you can get heavy armor and weapon proficiency, so you can fully roll into combat with people and just kind of be or one willing creature you touch for 1 minute. You can put this on your allies too, so you can be a spellcaster too. Just give it to your fucking fighter, make your fighter stinky, make your barbarian stinky, and just exhaustion is nuts. That's really good, I think. The plague spread by this feature manifests as a specific system. Choose from the plague symptoms table or determine it randomly. Choose or determine randomly. That's pretty good. Oh, this is all flavorful stuff. While infected, a creature is drained of all color, appearing in a monochromatic grays, sheds metallic rust-hued flakes and creaks while moving, secretes foul-smelling mucus, is surrounded by a cloud of buzzing insects, struts, fungi, or foliage from its flesh, or is controlled. This is all flavor stuff. You can describe what your sickness looks like, but dear Lord, exhaustion. Or gain 1 exhaustion level. This is gonna be a nasty fucking cleric. Literally and figuratively. Dear God. But yeah, no, if you give that to you, like, that starts its turn in the, okay. So you do have to start your turn in the emanation. So it's not like a Spirit Guardians thing where you can throw it on your monk and then they can just run around everybody and give everything exhaustion. They do have to start their turn, but still, either putting it on yourself as a heavy armor cleric and running around and running into combat, or throwing it on like your frontlining people. Anyway, moving on to Virulent Burst at level 6. When an enemy within 60 feet of you is reduced to 0 hit points, you can take a reaction to cause plague to burst from that creature, spreading pestilence in a 10-foot emanation originating from the enemy. If an enemy had at least 1 exhaustion level, the size of that emanation increases to 20 feet. Jeez. Each creature of your choice in the emanation makes a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. On a fail save, suffers one of the following effects. I can speak, I promise. I'm a voice actor. I'm just speaking fast and fucking up because I'm stupid. Putrid Shock. The target has the incapacitated condition to the end of its next turn. While incapacitated, the target's speed is 0. Or toxic infection takes 1d6 or takes 3d6 necrotic or poison damage, your choice. You can use this feature in number types equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum once you regain. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's a 10-foot aura around a creature that is reduced to 0 hit points. And then 10-foot aura that does either one of these 2 effects. Reduce 0, burst from creature. Each creature of your choice. So again, of your choice here is important. Each creature of your choice, and then up here also is each creature of your choice. So none of this shit is gonna affect your allies. So theoretically, if your allies get reduced to 0 hit points, you can cause plague to burst from them too, and have this. And if they had an aura that will potentially dissuade people from trying to fully knock them out and kill them if they're at 0, or naturally you're supposed to use this on like people and stuff, and if they have at least 1 exhaustion level, the size of the emanation gets doubled. Jesus Christ. This is a nasty cleric. It's good though. It's good. Anyway, last feature, level 17, Vermin Form. As a bonus action, you can shapeshift into a medium swarm of tiny pests such as cockroaches, maggots, or rats. While you're in this form, you retain your general shape, personality, memories, and the ability to speak. And equipment you're wearing carrying doesn't transform with you, but you can continue using that equipment while in this form. Your game statistics remain the same apart from the following changes. Condition immunities, you're immune to grapple, paralyze, prone, and restrain. Makes sense, you're a fucking swarm now. Your resistance to the physical damage types, makes sense, you're a swarm now. Movement, you can enter and occupy another creature's space and vice versa. Additionally, you have a climb speed equal to your speed. You can climb difficult surfaces including along ceilings without needing to make an ability check. Plague Bite. So whenever you enter an enemy's space, that creature takes damage equal to your wisdom modifier. The damage is necrotic, piercing, or poison, your choice. A creature also takes this damage when it enters your space or ends its turn there. A creature can take this damage only once per turn. You revert to your true form after 10 minutes. If you choose to end this transformation, you have an incapacitated condition or you die. Once you use this feature, can't use it again until you finish the long rest unless you expend a 5th level spell slot. No action required to destroy your use of it. So, I mean, it is cool. You get a lot of condition immunities. It's a great defensive feature, a great mobility feature too. Resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. Doesn't require concentration. just moving through people makes them take 5 damage, basically. Only once per turn, so, but it's free, and you're already might be casting like fucking Spirit Guardians or something, right? Doing that shit to people, and also if you move through them. It is, and it is for 10 minutes. It is for 10 minutes. So, Vermin Form, Virulent Burst is okay. This happens. Though the one thing that you kind of don't, you're going to be in combat, so things are going to be reduced to 0 hit points, no matter what around you. Usually, if there's going to be combat, right? So it's not like you won't get used to this feature, but it does require something to you have already defeated the thing, right, to get use. So that's something to consider. And then Vermin Form is cool as fuck. It's cool as shit. Gives you a bunch of defensive features, movement features, some free tiny bit of damage, but at the end of the day, it's not too crazy, except that you are a swarm of fucking rats now. Which is cool. And by 17, you're a fucking 9th level full caster, right? You got access to your 9th level spells, so who knows what shit you'll be casting at this level with your Vermin Form. So it's not that this feature necessarily needs to be stronger. I'm cool. I'd be fine if it just stayed this way and it was just cool like that. It was just cool because bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. You also have resistance to poison and necrotic, plus whatever magic items you might have, plus whatever species you are that might have a damage resistance. So it's just like all around, like you'll be pretty tough, Combine that with armor, if you pick the armor one, which it's kind of like I'm thinking you might want to. Sorry, I was stretching for a second. But the true thing here, which is why Virulent Burst is okay to be a little less powerful, because it requires you to have already defeated something, or Vermin Form not being like super insane other than just being cool as shit, is Plague Blessing is nuts. Plague Blessing is insanity. Not insanity. I think it's really cool that being able to inflict exhaustion upon things, but if you get your wisdom modifier up, and this does require them to fail multiple Constitution saving throws. Again, Constitution is one of the most common saving throws in the game. So, and a lot of creatures are gonna have a high Constitution modifier, but you combine that with like, if you're sorry, I clapped because I'm excited. It's interesting. It's cool. If you combine that with your allies, right? Potentially your allies, where maybe a divination wizard or something that can like have creatures auto fail things, and something like this would stack with like a bane, right? So you would, if you throw, wait, hold on, and again, exhaustion reduces speeds equal to 5 times you're gonna be nasty, you're gonna be gross, you're gonna be fucking gnarly, bro. Fucking Pestilence domain. Cleric is rocking it. At the exchange of not having these spells are cool, right? They fit. I wouldn't want anything else on a Pestilence domain cleric, but they're not great. Most of these spells aren't like amazing. And Virulent Form, right? Virulent Burst, Vermin Form's alright. Virulent Burst is okay, but fucking, you cause exhaustion on things. That's nuts enough. Good. I hope it stays that way. It'll be a fucking nasty cleric to play against. But here's another thing. This aura emanation, the 5-foot emanation, does not increase at all, which would maybe be a bit too strong. Even 10 feet, I don't know. Even 10 feet might be too much. But having an only 5-foot aura around you where you cause exhaustion, so people aren't going to want to be near you, but you can also throw it on other things. So, I mean, at the end of the day, just toss it on your barbarian or something that have it rolled up into everybody. But it does only It does only work. Ends early if you yeah. It does only work at the start of their turn. Is a con save against exhaustion. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if there's any creatures that are immune to exhaustion. There might be. Anyway, no. This Plague Blessing is nuts. That's the star of this show, right? So yeah, Pestilence Domain Cleric is fucking coming out of the gate, fucking nasty, in a good way. Circle of the Titan Druid, wreak colossal havoc. When a civilization violates the natural world by deforesting ancient groves, polluting sacred waters, or hunting wildlife to the brink of extinction, Druids of the Circle of the Titan intervene. Druids of this order believe that for nature to thrive, society must sometimes fall. To this end, they assume towering monstrous forms to mete out cataclysmic retribution and forcefully restore the natural order. Yeah, I mean they're calling this a villainous subclasses with Circle of Titans. Flavor isn't that crazy. Isn't that like villainous? I'm sure you could take it that way, right? If you go too far, there needs to be a balance. You know, you don't want to, you might not want to murder people, but I'm like, God. So we'll see here. Circle of the Titan spell. We're starting with level 3. The Circle of the Titan spells. In addition, you cast a spell. Okay. I also saw. In addition, you can cast the spells from this feature while you're in Titan form. I will get to you. You get quick cure wounds, long strider, thaumaturgy, fear, stone skin, and destructive wave. Fair enough. Cure wounds, long strider, thaumaturgy, fear, stone skin, destructive wave. I assume they're giving less of a spell list because doesn't the Moon Druid have a spell list now too? Rules, classes, Druid, Circle of the Moon. Yeah, this is even okay. This is even with the Moon Druid, who only gets one spell per list, but it has alternate forms. Whereas Circle of the Land gets one spell per list because it's like that. Circle of the Sea gets a normal list because it doesn't. Okay, yeah, it's all good. Oh, I shouldn't have got rid of that tab. I'm gonna open that back up again. Anyway, let's see the Titan form. When you use a wild shape, you can adopt a Titan form, choosing from the Behemoth, Leviathan, and Insectoid stat blocks presented later in this subclass's description. You determine what your Titan form looks like, roll or choose from the Titan appearance table to inspire aspects of your form's appearance. Is flavored stuff. Behemoth, multiple heads, reptilian tail, woolly and simian, many tentacle, translucent and blob light, lamprey-like mouth, serpentine body, night. Insectoid wings, compound eyes, chitinous horns, bioluminescent and ebon skin. Maybe we should probably look at these stat blocks. Yeah, we should look at them now. So Behemoth. Large, huge requires Druid level 10. Gargantuan requires Druid level 14. Monstrosity, your alignment doesn't change. Your Wisdom modifier, 10 plus your Wisdom modifier, 2 times temper HP equals 2 times your Druid level. Speed 40 feet, climb speed 40 feet, dex, strength and dex. Your strength and dexterity scores are equal to your Wisdom score in this form. Con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Your constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma don't change. Okay. So you just heavily invest in wisdom, and then your wisdom and dexterity become okay. Normal stuff. Traits. Rampager requires Druid level 10. When you enter the space of an enemy that is at least one size smaller than you for the first time on a turn, that creature is subjected to the following effect. Strength saving throw. DC equals your spell save DC. Failure. The target has the prone condition. If the target already has the prone condition, it takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage. For the first time on a turn. Okay, so you do damage by just stomping around for the first time. Once a turn for every creature. That makes sense. You also have Sea Monster. You do double damage to objects and structures. Makes sense, considering the flavor. Actions requires you level 5. You make 2 rend attacks. So rend is a 10-foot 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier slashing damage. Incandescent breath. You expend a level 1 plus spell slot dexterity saving throw. DC equals your spell save DC. Each creature makes in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Failure. 2d8 radiant damage per level of the slot expended, plus your wisdom modifier. Success, half damage. Okay, so you're Godzilla, right? You turn into Godzilla for the behemoth. You can run around. I do wish this scaled. I mean, you make 2 attacks. I mean, we'll get to the other Titan Druid features, so maybe it does scale. Maybe it does. Right, so because this is just the stat blocks that have things. I also really like them putting stat blocks like this that other things unlock at later levels for player character classes. This is cool. I hope they do this more. But no, you can run around and hit stuff, and you have Godzilla breath, right? And then you can also heal yourself, make yourself faster. Cause loud stuff, fierce, don't get resistances, destructive wave, makes sense. While you're in Titan form, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, this. Okay, so in addition, you can cast the spells from this feature while you're in your Titan form. This would imply that you can't cast other spells, but in the feature, it doesn't say that, so they might want to. That's probably a note to clarify, right? That you can't cast while you're in your Titan form. You cannot cast spells that aren't part of this spell list. Which that, I mean that's the same rules the Moon Druid has. So not that worried about it, but it makes complete sense to me. But still, important to clarify. Anyway, let's move over to Leviathan. Large, huge, yep, same gargantuan monstrosity. AC. So your AC is 11 plus your wisdom modifier. This one's 10 plus your wisdom modifier. Temporary HP 2 times your druid level. Speed 40 feet. Swim 40 feet too. Same thing. All right, traits. Amphibious. You can breathe air and water. Toxic stench requires druid level 10. Constitution saving throw. DC equals yours. Spell save. Each creature of your choice that starts a turn within a 10-minute emanation originating from you. Failure is 2d4 poison damage, and if the target has the poison condition until the start of its next turn. Okay. I mean, 2d4 poison damage kind of is not great, but you do get the poison condition. But there's a lot of things that are immune to poison condition. So, I mean, it's okay. Multi-attack, you can make 2 rend attacks. Same thing, except it's bludgeoning damage instead of slashing damage, and you have a reaction. Ink Cloud, you take damage response. You can expend a spell slot, a level 1 plus spell slot. You release an inky cloud that files a 15-foot radius cube centered on yourself, and you move up to your speed. The cube is heavily obscured, which lasts for 1 minute until a strong current or wind. Leviathan is pretty underwhelming. We'll see what the other Titan Druid features are, because maybe that makes. I guarantee it probably makes these all better. We're still on level 3. This is still just the main level 3 feature. But Ink Cloud is not, on its own merit, Leviathan is not looking great unless you really need to swim. But let's move on to the Insectoid as well. AC is 8 plus your wisdom modifier, so it's got a lower AC than the others. Still same. You get the fly speed this time. Same. Flyby. You don't provoke opportunity attacks when you fly out of an enemy's reach. Hive Mind requires Druid level 10. When you assume this form, you forge a telepathic link with a number of creatures of your choice that you can see. And that can communicate in at least one language. The maximum number of creatures is equal to your druid level, and you and the chosen creatures can communicate telepathically as long as each other whether or not you share a language as long as you're on the same plane of existence. Okay. I'm not sure why this needs to be locked behind level 10, because telepathy is a thing that you can get with the feat, you know? But, and is a thing that the other psychic subclasses get at level 3. I mean, it is a lot of creatures, and it is until you're not a Titan anymore, and also, I guess, you know, it is a lot of creatures. Up to 10 at this level would be once you get hive mind, but I don't know, man. I don't think this is, I think they should just have this. In fact, honestly, I think Rampager and Toxic Stench are not strong enough either to be locked behind level 10. Unless, you know, maybe some other Titan Druid feature changes my mind, but for right now, take 2 rend tech, melee attack roll, wisdom modifier, piercing damage, okay. Energizing pollen. You expend 1 plus spell slot number, emit a cloud of healing pollen that can restore up to hit points equal to 2d8 plus 5 times. Okay, you're a healing aura. So the insect one is a support transformation. Choose any number of creatures within 15 feet of yourself, and divide those hit points among. Okay. You can't just give 2d8 plus 5 times the expended. 2d8 plus 5 times the expended spell slot level. It's not even 2d8 scaling. I mean, maybe 2d8 scaling would be a lot of healing per level if it was like being able to throw a cure wounds on everybody within 15 feet of you. Maybe that would be a little strong, but like, I think it might need it, you know? I think that might need to be what's up here with the Insectoid and Behemoth and Leviathan. Like, this is fine. Per level, yeah. No, that's 2d8 per. This scales. It doesn't even scale. Inkcloud it just sucks. It doesn't even scale. And then Edry's Polly only scales the 5 times, then plus 5 times the expended spell slot. So does it scale the 2d8 and the plus 5? No, it says plus 5 times the expended spell. So this is 2d8 plus, 3. Wait, 2d8 plus 5 times the spell slot level. So this is 2d8 plus 5 at with a level 1 slot, and then it goes up to potentially 2d8 plus, what is it, like, what 5 times 9 is, I'm stupid. It's like 45, right? 2d8 plus 45, yeah. I mean, but with a 9th level spell slot, I think the energizing pollen needs to just scale properly, and Inkcloud needs to be better. I think. Again, this is all before looking at the other features of the subclass. So if y'all are yelling at me because you know the other features of the subclass make these things better, I'm getting to them right now. So level 6 is Dire Impact. Your Titan form brings greater devastation. You gain the following benefits. Elemental Rend. Whenever you hit with your Titan form's rend attack, you can cause it to deal your choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage rather than its normal damage type. And Shockwave. Your transformation upheaves your surroundings immediately after you assume a Titan form, or by taking a bonus action to expend a level 1 plus slot while you're in Titan form. You can create a Shockwave and a 15-foot emanation originating from you. Each creature in the element nation must succeed on a con save, saving throw against your spell save DC, or have the prone condition. They should give Shockwave scaling too. And Elemental Rend is good, but okay. I mean, it helps you. I like it. No, this is definitely good, because and the thematic is cool too. The thematic is good as fuck too, right? But I mean, they could have had this plus another D8 for the Rens at this rate, right? Because at max, these guys only make 2 Ren attacks, so 2d8 per attack wouldn't be that crazy. At level, this is level 6, so Shockwave. Yeah. Just a spell slot to make everybody to have a con save to throw everybody prone. I feel like you should add damage to Shockwave too, or something, because that's also not great. You know, it's not great. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not great either. Level 10 is Primal Havoc. Your unbridled power of nature surges within you, granting you the following benefits: improved Titan form. You can choose to become huge when assuming. Yeah, we saw that. Titan for each Titan also forms additional benefit. It's known as set luck. Above it all, while you are huge or larger in your Titan form, difficult terrain caused by heavy snow, ice, rubble, or underground doesn't cost you extra. Yeah. I feel like you could have just. You could give us something different. I mean, above all, sure, yeah, give us that. But you didn't need to put this. You could have just put this, kept this shit here. Right? Unlocks at Druid level 10. Unlocks at Druid level 14. Gargantuan. That could have, you could keep that there and keep this. You could use this for something else. You see, I don't think we need to be told. Or maybe we do. Or maybe we do. But the additional benefits are not good, not all great. In fact, they're all. I think they should be. You should have the additional benefits from the start. In fact, because none of them are that strong. None of them are that powerful. None of them are like super crazy. But yeah, this is. Oh, okay. So level 14, Monstrous Appetite. Your transformation embodies the vast size and terror of its nature's titans. You gain the following benefits: gargantuan size. You can assume to become a gargantuan whenever you are assuming Titan form. Grappling rend. Once per turn, when you are huge or larger, you hit a creature with your rend attack in your Titan form. You give the target the grappled condition. DC equals your spell save DC. That's good. You can only have one target grappled in this way at any time. Swallow. As a bonus action, while you are gargantuan, you can choose one large or smaller creature grappled by you. Makes a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. On failure, you swallow the target and the grappled condition ends. A swallowed creature has the blinded and restrained conditions, has total cover against attacks or any effects outside your stomach, and takes 2d8 acid damage at the start of each of your turns. The number of creatures you can have swallowed at any time equals your wisdom modifier. It must maintain concentration to hold the swallowed creatures in your stomach. If you lose concentration or leave your Titan form, you regurgitate all swallowed creature. Okay. 2d8 acid damage at level 14. This is cool. I like grappling rend. I feel like we could get that here at level 10 to start be grappling things. Because you'd be at level 10, you'd be huge. That's big enough to start grappling stuff. And then swallow is fucking cool, great, awesome, cool. 2d8 acid damage at the start of each of your turns. And you're just begging them to just fucking start attacking you. Right? So, and your DC, your AC here is not going to be good. AC max, this is 16. Even if they have disadvantage, you're at level fucking 14, homie. They're going to have a big amount of damage. And 2 times your druid level? Like, that's not, and I honestly don't feel like that's enough temporary HP either for these things. Oh, what a sad day. Circle of the Titan. So, my thoughts. Circle of the Titan has some of the coolest flavor, right? You become gargantuan, and fucking I was on board reading Behemoth. Behemoth is cool. but like I feel like it's not delivering enough on its thematic here to be this destructive, you know? I mean, you get these things, you get destructive wave, stone skin, fear, stuff like that. It's not like you can't do other stuff while you're in your Titan form, but the Titan forms just are like you would want to do the thing where you might want to like cast a spell to concentrate on. Luckily, I don't think you don't have to this is not a spell, so you're just also concentrating on keeping things swallowed, I guess. So that means they can punch their way out of your stomach, you know, and they're guaranteed. I think this needs to almost entirely, like, these are promising, right? These are promising. I feel like Behemoth is promising. Just make it better. I feel like these rend attacks need to scale better, because they're 1d8 even all the way to level 14, and you get 2 attacks. Granted, you can cast these spells. Oops, I hit a button on my mouse. God. Hold on, let me. Is that close enough? Oh, my hair is getting in there. Okay, but this Circle of the Titan definitely needs another look, right? I want to see this again, because I am so down for the flavor. I am so down for having Titan forms, but these things are not it, bro. They're not. The ACs are kind of abysmal. They're not great. And they barely scale at all. Like, I want more. I want them to have more. The Pestilence Domain Cleric gets to throw exhaustion on everything, and these Titan forms are cool at fucking level 3. They're pretty cool at level 3, but like I don't think these things need to be locked behind level 10. They are not strong enough to be. Buddy, the Pestilence Domain Cleric is giving people exhaustion, and exhaustion, and this guy gets barely stinkier, doesn't even get for 2d8 poison damage, and has a poison condition, and you know, walking around takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage for walking around on a spell DC. Strength similar, failure, progression, and this doesn't say what you get if you succeed. Do you just not get affected if you succeed? That should also probably be clarified. And then I've said my piece. I want the Titan Cleric or Druid. I mean, I want the Titan Druid. I want it. The flavor is good. The flavor is fantastic. But give me more. Make me feel like a fucking monster. Make me feel like I'm Godzilla by the end of 14. Because right now, this ain't it. And maybe I'm missing something. It's possible. But right now, my gut's telling me this ain't it, and it needs to be cooler. It needs to be, maybe even 3 times your Druid level. You know? More temporary. You need to be tanky. Because you've suddenly become a large creature and are going around on a smackdown with your D8 hit dice Druid with a bunch of with temporary HP that's probably going to be eaten. I would maybe even give these guys some base damage resistances, right? Depending on which one you become. Like, have the Behemoth one have like resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing already. And then the Leviathan has like resistance to acid and poison and stuff like that, or whatever. And then you can have the Insectoid one be resistant to like psychic damage or something. Like, so you have a reason to maybe want to take these different forms. But they definitely need to scale better. And these things, Hive Mind is why does this need to be locked behind level 10? That makes no sense. This makes no sense. Also, I just realized that the Energizing Pollen is an action, which makes sense because you could potentially do a good chunk of healing for it. But also, Ink Cloud in eCloud, it's okay. I guess maybe it's okay if I understand that this is a reaction, but also garbage. Pretty much not great. But let's move on. Let's move on to the Hell Knight fighter. Inflict hellish wounds on and damn enemies. Hell Knights are champions of archdevils and other high-ranking fiends in the Nine Hells, such as Cambions and Night Hags. Armed with all the techniques of the Nine Hells' fiercest warriors, Hell Knights inflict infernal wounds and fight with the tenacity of a devil. Employ Hell Knights. Yeah. So we're a Nine Hells flavored fighter. Fair enough. Hell Knight pursuits. You became a Hell Knight because you desired only treasures because of the Hell Knight. Blah, blah. I can talk. I'm a voice actor. I promise. I can talk. I can indeed talk. You gave me Hell Knight because you desired treasures only for the Nine Hells could grant you. Hunger for power by mortal balance. Made a wager with the devil and lost. Sacrificed your soul to spare somebody else. Yep, also. So, level 3. We are a fighter. Let's remember here, we're a fighter. Fighters are pretty good. We get all the weapon stuff. We get action surge. We get second wind. Fighters are pretty good at base. Diabolical gift. As a soldier for the agents of Nine Hells, you've been given fiendish powers. You get the following benefits. Devil Sight. Devil Sight? Hey, I'll take it, man. 120 feet, both magical and non-magical. Devil Sight, that giving us another option to pair with our darkness-loving people. That could be interesting. Devil's Tongue. Infernal, the language of devils. If you already know Infernal, you know their nurtures. Fair enough. Flavorful. I get it. I get you. Level 3, Hellfire Weapon. You can take the attack action. When you take the attack action, you can imbue one weapon that you're holding with Hellfire, transforming it into a Hellfire weapon. It remains to transform this way for 10 minutes until you use this feature again. You die, or the weapon is more than 5 feet away from you for 1 minute or more. You can also defend this effect early, no action required. So, already, quickly, when we take the attack action, this costs not even a bonus action. It's just when we attack, you can just cause it to be a Hellfire weapon. That's already important. That's already important to note. While transformed into a Hellfire weapon, the weapon emits dim light in a 5-foot emanation, and whenever you deal damage with that weapon, you can deal your choice of fire damage or its normal damage type. Okay, we get another feature at level 3. Okay, not that that's bad, right? Fire damage is resisted a lot, but that just being able to choose. Suddenly my lance is fire. Suddenly my sword is fire. Suddenly my great sword is fire. And we get when you can deal your choice of fire damage or its normal damage type. So that means also hold on. And it's one weapon you're holding, so it works on magic weapons, right? Works on magic weapons. That doesn't require it to be non-magical or anything like that. So you can use this thing. Whenever you do damage with the weapon, it can deal your choice of fire damage or normal damage type. I'm sure that has some combos with some magic weapons, so it's actually pretty cool. I would take it. Level 3, being able to swap my damage type to fire as a fighter, sure, I'm down. I can already think of some cool weapon designs. But I also get Infernal Wound. Your Hellfire weapon can inflict infernal wounds. Infernal Wound die, of which you have 1 Infernal Wound die, which is a d6, inflicting infernal wounds. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with your Hellfire weapon, you can deal extra fire damage equal to 1 roll of your Infernal Wound die, and give that target the Infernal Wound. While wounded in this way, it takes fire damage equal to 1 roll of your Infernal Wound die at the start of each of its turns. This effect lasts for 1 minute until the target regains hit points, or until the target or a creature within 5 feet of the target takes an action to staunch the wound. A target can be afflicted by only 1 instance of this feature at a time. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier, a minimum of once. Gain expended uses on short or long rest. You have 1 Infernal Wound die, which is a d6. Okay. So you also just get a free extra d6 on your attack on an attack. Con modifier times a day, and if they don't You can deal that extra fire damage. They get the wound. Lasts for a minute until they get healed, or they just take damage without any saving throw. Depending on how this scales, and we'll see. That's already not bad. At level 3, I'll take it. That's definitely not bad. I will not complain about getting some extra D6s a day and giving some more combat stuff and making them have to like make a choice, you know? So, let's continue on. Level 7 is Advanced Wounds. When you roll your Infernal Wound die, the roll is a D6. The roll is and roll a 6. You can apply one of the following effects: Purulence of Mineros. Caustic pus erupts from the wound. Each creature in a 5-foot emanation originating from the target takes acid damage equal to your Constitution modifier, and the target has the poison condition until the start of its next turn. I think we should also have the creature take the wound pus taking the acid damage as well. Rupture of Kenya. I'm butchering all these. I know it. The wound ruptures with a spurt of arcane energy. The target takes cold damage equal to your Constitution modifier and can't take reactions until the start of its next turn. I mean, that's fine. Okay. We also get level 7. We get another feature at level 7, because I was gonna be like, if that's the only thing we get at level 7, that's that's not great. I mean, the chance of rolling a 6 on a D6 isn't terrible, but I was hoping. I'm glad we get level 7 Hellforged equipment. So Advanced Wounds is okay. You get some extra stuff if you roll good. I'm down. Sure enough, let's go. But level 7 Hellforged equipment. Your armor and weapons embody infernal armaments forged in the fires of Avernus, granting the following benefits: fire resistance. While wearing armor or wielding a shield, you have fire resistance to fire damage. I feel like we could just get fire resistance in Diabolical Gift. Like, that wouldn't be too crazy. But sure. Unholy Fire. Damage from your weapon attacks and fighter features ignores resistance to fire damage. Hey, that's good. That's pretty solid. That's definitely needed, because there's a lot of things that resist fire damage, but I'm also sure there's probably a lot of things immune to fire damage too. Is that it? Resistance to fire damage and ignores resistance to fire? Fair enough, I guess. I mean, we are primarily a weapon user, so maybe not things not getting too crazy here, but you know. Let's see. Level 10 is Hellfire Surge. Whenever you use your Action Surge while wearing an armor or wearing a shield, you can superheat your equipment, causing it to erupt in hellfire in a 10-foot emanation originating from you. Each creature of your choice within the emanation must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. DC equals your Constitution modifier and proficiency bonus. On a failed save, the target takes fire damage equal to 1 roll of your Infernal Wound die and is burning. On a successful save, target takes half as much damage. I mean, it just happens whenever you use your Action Surge, so it's not too bad. It's also each creature of your choice, but level 10, your Infernal Wound die is only a d6. I wish maybe this Infernal Wound die maybe should scale, and then have this change accordingly. And level 15 is Blister of Avernus. Your Hellfire leaves painful, boiling blisters. When you roll a 6 on your Infernal Wound die, you can roll another d6 and add it to the damage. The maximum number of d6s you can add to the Infernal Wound damage die on a turn is 3. So if you keep rolling 6s, you can get up to 3 extra d6 on top of you're rolling a 6. So I mean, you're really wanting to roll 6s, man, which I guess makes sense. Oh, I see. 3 6s, 6 6 6. Okay. Level 18 is Hellfire Condemnation. Whenever you damage blah blah blah. Whenever damage, what God? Whenever damage from your Hellfire weapon or Infernal Wound reduces the creature to 0 hit points, and the creature dies. Its soul rises from the Razor Six as a lemure in the layer of the Nine Hells of your choice. In the layer of the Nine Hells of your choice. If the creature isn't revived before, then only a wish spell can return it to life. You know what? That's a pretty flavorful fucking feature, but it's also so what? That doesn't help me. Everything I kill dies 100% for sure, except for a wish spell. I mean, yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that it's not the only thing. Level 18 Infernal Bargain. Whenever you roll your Infernal Wound die, you can treat any roll of a one as a 6. Okay, so that doubles your odds. So now you have a 1 in 3 chance of your extra stuff going off for Hellfire Weapon. Not Hellfire Weapon. Blister of Avernus and the Advanced Wounds. Okay. Hell no. Again, remember, we are a fighter. We're mainly a weapon user. Most of our damage is going to come from hitting people with attacks like 3, 4, 5, 6 times, with Action Surge. So maybe you don't want to get too crazy, but I feel like we could go a little more nuts here. I feel like we could go a little bit more crazy. These are okay. Maybe add more of these. Just add one for every layer of hell. It would be a big feature, but you'd have a lot of choice at least, or maybe unlock more of these for each layer of hell. Or fuck it, man. Add one for each different roll of the D6. So you have, maybe it could be a little random like that, where if you roll a 1 on the Infernal Wound, it has this wound. If you roll a 6, it has this one. That could be fun. It'd be a little inconsistent, but like make them all like roughly as powerful each other, and fuck it, Hellforge equipment. This, like, we could get fire resistance at level 3. That could just be there. That's not like, some species just don't have fire resistance immediately, and it makes sense. We could just have that at level 3. Unholy Fire is definitely good, but we could, if we just had Unholy Fire and then like a better version of Advanced Wounds, maybe even scaling the D6 to like a D10 or something, then that. Cool. Hellfire Surge is for free, but also 1 of your Infernal Wound die. Could be better, but it is for free since you're Action Surging. But so maybe I'm just being nitpicky. Maybe I am just being nitpicky, or maybe I am just being greedy. Maybe I'm disgusting you with your greed, with my greed for wanting cool stuff. But who knows? Blister is neat. Infernal Bargain makes. I think this is fair enough. Having your Infernal Wounds go off more often makes sense. This is a cool flavor feature. I don't mind it, but could be interesting. Oh, the Hellfire Knight is definitely cooking with Hellfire Weapon here. This is just flat cool. Being able to choose between fire damage and normal damage. Sure, I'm down. That's cool enough for me. But I think everything else could use a little love. But it is a pretty fucking cool first pass. So, moving on to the demonic sorcery. Summon the powers of the abyss. So this is not a sorcerer from the Nine Hells, it's a demon sorcerer. The corrupting magic of demons courses through you, making it conduit for infinite layers of the abyss and their horrors. Your gift might stem from a distant demonic ancestry, a fated encounter with a demon that cursed you, or a brush with the dark hunger of the abyss. Alright, makes sense. Alright, abyssal manifestations. Abyssal fissures mar your flesh, revealing windows into vast demonic... Whoa, that's cool. Insects writhe beneath your skin and escape from your mouth, nose, or ears. Nasty. Sheets of scorched skin peel from your body. Gross. Flesh bubbles and frost like a toxic ball. Definitely nasty. Your fingers or other extremities discolor as if frostbitten. That's pretty cool. That could be pretty cool. You grow a second head. This has no impact on your game statistics. Okay. You could just be a two-headed guy. Okay, that's... Okay. Alright. Okay. That's funny. Because I get it, Demogorgon, right? He's got two heads. That could be funny. Alright, so level 3, we get Abyssal Rupture. When you spend at least one sorcery point as part of a magic action or a bonus action on your turn, you can unleash one of the following magical effects from your choice. You can do so only once per turn. Demonic Lash. One creature you can see within 20 feet of you takes 1d4 slashing damage, and if it is large or smaller, you can pull it up to 10 feet closer to you. Fiendish Carapace. Until the start of your next turn, attack rolls against you have disadvantage. Fair enough. Pulling people closer to you. Sure. Why not? D4 is kind of piss piddly. It reminds me of the Spellfire Sorcerer, but you know, it just happens for free. This doesn't cost you anything, so that's important. And then on the start of your next turn, attack rolls against you have disadvantage. That is pretty good though, because you're gonna be using sorcery points often. So that's not bad. We also get demonic spells when you reach a sorcery level specified. Blah blah. We get detect magic, entangle, misty step, and spider climb. Those aren't too bad as utility still. Misty step's nice. Detect magic is okay. Get entangle, that could be, summoning abyss vines or whatever. Sure. Dispel magic in gaseous form. Dispel magic's a little strange. I don't know much about the abyss, the favorite Forgotten Realms abyss and stuff. So, gaseous form, sure. Confusion, I'll take it. Hallucinatory terrain, makes sense. The abyss is endless layers and ever shifting. Contact other plane and hallow. Hallow, Contact. I have a feeling people aren't gonna really like this list that much, because you could do definitely a lot of cooler things with a spell list from the abyss. You're a demon sorcerer, right? You're cursed by the abyss or cursed by a demon lord or something, or you're the spawn of a demon lord or whatever. That edgy anime shit like that. I feel like it could be better. Or I feel like it could be a little better. Granted, the Abyss has endless layers, right? So, unlike the Nine Hells, where you automatically think of like Avernus, right? The Abyss has endless layers, so how do you flavor that, right? The Demon Lords are very widely varied on what they do. You got that one fungus lady, you got Demogorgon, you got was it Baphomet or something, the demon of hunting and stuff like that. They have a much wider skill set, much wider thematic set. So I guess they're trying their best, but I feel like level 1 I'm down for level 1. Tech magic, entangle, misty step, spider climb, sure, that fine by me. Dispel magic, I'll even take. Gaseous form, sure, I don't even mind. Confusion, probably not bad. Hallucinatory terrain, I get it, but we feel like maybe we could have something else. Contact other plane and hallow, though. I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know. They don't seem like very spells that I would want to cast as a sorcerer, so I don't know. That's just my opinion. At level 6, we get Abyssal Aura. You can use the innate sorcery. You can infuse the chaos of the abyss into your surroundings. While this use of innate sorcery is active, reality warps in a 10-foot emanation originating from you, filling the area with demonic effect. Roll on the abyssal effects table and determine the effect. If the spell requires a saving throw, use your spell save. You can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You can also restore your use of it by spending 2 sorcery points. No action required. Fair enough. Alright, so maybe if we're going with the flavor that as a sorcerer, I'm just corrupting everything around me, basically, then maybe these hollow makes sense, but in current context, maybe I'm just being a little picky. It's like, you know what I say. You know what I literally just said it earlier for the Pestilence Cleric domain, that I prefer a thematic list. I'll take a thematic list any day over like a generally good one. But I also have I'm also just kind of a hypocrite sometimes. I'm human. Actually, I'm a main wolf because PNG tuber. But in spirit, I'm human. Okay, and I feel like there could be cooler spells here. I feel like there could be, but it does seem. But I maybe I am just gaslighting myself into wanting some better spells on the list, because if we are going with the path that we're corrupting everything, then these spells aren't necessarily unthematic for that. I don't know. I'm coming around to them. All right, so we roll a d6. So roll 1 on the abyssal effect table is sticky webs. Thick webs fill the emanation, making it difficult for your enemies. Each enemy starts its turn, and the emanation must suffer they need a strength save, or have the restraint condition. A creature restrained by the webs can take action to make a strength athletics check against their spell save DC, ending the effect on itself with a successful take. And this happens at the start of your turn. Man, already that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Caustic ooze. Slick, oily gunk covers the ground in an emanation, making it difficult terrain for your enemies. Each enemy that starts its turn on the ground in the emanation takes 1d6 acid damage and must succeed a dexterity saving throw or have the prone condition. You're sinking into the ooze zone that I'm making. This damage increases by 1d6, and this is just while your innate sorcery is active. Again, that's pretty gnarly. I like that. And the 1d6 is free. Acid damage is free. Terrifying screams. Each enemy starts its turn, and the animation takes 1d6 psychic damage. You must make a wisdom saving throw or have the frightened condition. Makes sense. That's pretty simple. Enthralling spores. Intoxicating spores fill the emanation, which is heavily obscured for the creatures of your choice. When you reach sorcerer level 11, the enemy starts to turn or have the charmed condition. Fair enough. Until the start of its next turn. Poisonous foliage. The emanation is lightly obscured by demonic flora. Each enemy that starts its turn in the emanation takes 1d6 poison damage and must succeed or have the poison condition. Sure, they're pretty identical to each other, it seems. Interring bones. Spectral limbs erupt from the ground, reaching... Oh, this is Orcus. Yeah, I remember. Reaching to sap the life around it. Each emanation takes d10 necrotic damage and can't restore hit points to the start of each turn. Increases by 1 for those. Okay, these are all pretty cool. They're free. Whenever you use your innate sorcery, you don't even have to use any sorcery points other than if you want to use the feature again. So these are all free. I think Sticky Webs is probably pretty good, and Caustic Ooze is definitely pretty solid. Because these both make it difficult terrain, right? And the rest of them, these are lightly obscured, heavily obscured. This one doesn't really affect terrifying screen. Doesn't. I mean, maybe you could make him deafened or something, right? And then bones is the one just does a little more damage. Sure. Level 14 is Abyssal Conduit. Your abyssal powers reach their full potential. You gain the following benefits: aura expansion. Your abyssal aura is now 20 foot. Control chaos. Whenever you would roll in the abyssal effects table, you can roll twice and choose the one you want. Fair enough. You can you roll number. You can choose If you roll the same number of both days, you can instead choose the effect on the table. Sure. Yeah, cool. And then level 18 is Fiendish Servant. You can cast the Summon Fiend without material component. You can also cast it once without a spell slot. You regain the ability to cast it this way. When you finish the long rest. When you cast it in this way, you must choose Demon for the Summon Fiend's type. You know, that could be a lot cooler for your capstone feature for being a demon sorcerer, plagued by the abyss. Because you could just have already summon fiend already on the spell, on the sorcerer spell list. God damn it, rules, spells. God, I'm bad. Summon. Where is it? Summon fiend. This is a 6th level spell. You're already warlock, only warlock and wizard. So I guess it isn't on the I guess it's not on the God damn it. I'm losing track of my brain. I guess it's not on the sorcerer spell list. So that's fair enough, I suppose. Fair enough. But you must choose demon. Death throws demon only. Yeah, explodes. Okay. Why'd I do that? I might need that more. Alright. Well, yeah. Sure. How do I feel about the demon sorcerer? I like abyssal effects. I do. Abyssal aura? Cool. Demonic spells? Cool. Abyssal rupture? You're pulling people around. Oh yeah, you're pulling people into the aura. I see. I get it. I understand. My brain has been opened. And then Fiendish Carapace is just straight good. Disadvantage on you no matter what. Anytime you use a sorcery point. Yeah. Sure. But Abyssal Conduit. Abyssal Conduit's cool. I feel like Fiendish Servant, maybe we could have a little extra here on Fiendish Servant. Maybe. Also, maybe it should specify that we get Summon Fiend added to our spell list. That would probably be... That one would probably be rather good to have. So yeah. I guess I'll look at the paths of Villainy in a second. Because if they are feats, then I definitely want to go over them. But so far, the clear winner to me is the Pestilence Domain Cleric. This exhaustion is nuts. Throwing exhaustion on stuff is a little crazy. Titan Druid, I wish was better. I just wish it was better. Because right now, I think it just doesn't scale very well. I feel like the thematic is great, but I just wish these were... I wish these were just better. I wish the stat blocks were a little better. Their IC is a little bit to be desired. These features are definitely not amazing. Hell Knight, definitely cool. Definitely cool. It's gonna be cool. It's not bad. It's not a bad subclass, but I think everything from Advanced Wounds to except for Unholy Fire is perfectly fine. But everything else I think could use a little love, maybe, possibly. And then the Demonic Sorcery, I think is pretty dope. I think is pretty dope. You're just kind of an aura of debuff around you, either difficult terrain or heavily obscured, and dealing extra damage and all. Sorry, I accidentally hit that button again. Is pretty neat. I would love. Oop, too close. I definitely would love if Terrifying Screams had another effect, just like everybody else does, because all these make it difficult terrain, and these make it heavily obscured, lightly obscured, but and this just does more damage, so it's okay. But love from the lens. Maybe you could get temper points based on the necrotic damage. Like, it's you're sapping the life from them, right? Maybe 10 hit points would be cool. And then something else, maybe even deafened. You know, I know deafened is a condition. I know definitely isn't very good, doesn't do anything, but something. But thematically, it'd be cool. Well, let's move on to the paths of villainy. This section includes 2 paths: Path of the Death Knight, Path of the Lich. Each path presents a selection of feats that represent a character's transformation into one of these 2 villainous archetypes. Death Knights are dastards, deserters, and disgraced champions, undead warriors who march towards perdition to fulfill selfish desires and take their bloodthirst. A Death Knight's martial prowess is tied to their evil nature, but their heinous deeds are far beyond the battlefield. Death Knight journeys. Each Death Knight is unique. Death Knights across the multiverse. Death Knight, Lord Sloth, or St. Crod. So, Master Rogers, Saloon for Patron Knees, Shar. For more Death Knights, see thing. So, Path of Death Knight. The following feats represent the path. One path a character can take to become a Death Knight. To complete the path of the Death Knight, begin by taking the Death Knight Incarnate feat, followed by any other of the Path of the Death Knight feat you choose. Finally, when you reach level 12 or higher, take the Death Knight Ascension feat. Okay. Path of the Death Knight feat, prerequisite level 4, and you have the Weapon Mastery feature. So that is at base, only available to fighters, paladins, rangers. I think that's it. Fighters, paladins, and rangers. And then you could get it on other people with some multi-classing, right? Weapon Mastery is a level 1 feature, I think. So you could get it on like a barbarian or a monk or something else just by doing a little multi-class there. Your ability score increase. You get strength or charisma by 1 death points. Your dedication to the path of the Death Knight gives you access to profane powers of undeath. Your ability to use such powers are represented by the death points. You have another death points equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended death points when you finish a long rest. You can expend death points to use certain Path of Death Knight benefits. This feat gives you one such benefit, Dread Strike. You always have the Wrathful Smite spell prepared. Charisma is your spellcasting ability for the spell. You can cast it without expending a spell slot by expending 1 death point. When you expend death points to cast Wrathful Smite, the target has disadvantage on wisdom saving throws to avoid or end the spell's effects. You can also cast this spell without using any spell slots you have. For a level 4 feat, man, dedicating yourself to the Path of Death Knight, that's not bad. Wrathful Smite isn't a bad spell. It's free extra damage for a bonus action. Doesn't even cost you spell slots. You can do so 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And you just get it, and they have just disadvantage to avoid it, or if you use the death points, and you have disadvantage on to end it. Banger, right? Crazy, cool. Dread Authority, Path of Death Knight feat, prerequisite Death Knight Incarnate feat, Constitution or Charisma, Dread Command. You always have the command spell prepared. Charisma is your casting spell. You can spend it without spelling spell slot. You can use the death points to cast it. You can also cast a spell using any spell slots you have. Whenever you spend death points to cast a command, undead targeted to have disadvantage on the saving throw. Okay, fair enough, I guess. That's not. I mean, command's a pretty good spell, but I mean, you have to at base be level, like, if you're a fighter, level 6 at the earliest. Anybody else level 8? Like, I don't know. Harbinger of Doom, Path of Death Knight feat, Strength, Constitution, or Charisma. Ill Omen. You always have the Bane spell prepared. Charisma is your spell casting ability for the spell. Cast it without expending a spell slot. Whenever you expend death points to cast Bane, Effect that target makes to trap 1d6 from attack rolls and saving throws. Hey, man. Okay, that's much better. I could see potentially taking that, especially if I was a, if I was a paladin already. So if I'm just going down the evil Oathbreaker paladin route, combining this shit with Oathbreaker maybe could be pretty interesting. Whenever Oathbreaker, I guess, gets an official update for 2024. But it's all right. Bane with a D6 is definitely cooler. Definitely cool. Definitely cool. Deathly Presence, Strength, Constitution. You get Awful Presence. You have Fear. Blah blah blah. You can also cast spell slots. When you expend Death Points to cast Fear, you deal a 2d6 psychic damage to each creature that fails its saving throw. Sure. Oh, this requires you to be level 8+. And you can cast Fear 3 times a day, potentially, among your other Death Knight features. And then Unholy Steed is also level 8. You get Fine Steed. When you cast Fine Steed is a fiend, and targets you choose have disadvantage on the Wisdom saving throw against its Fel Glare. You can also cast a spell using any spell slots you have. Fair enough. That seems pretty par for the course. Death Knight Ascension prerequisite level 12. You get Strength or Constitution by 1. Your creature type is undead now. Unholy Anatomy. You have resistance to necrotic and poison damage. You don't get exhaustion levels from dehydration, malnutrition, or suffocation. You also have Hellfire Orb. As a magic action, you can spend 1 to 5 death points to throw. Oh wait, am I crazy? Oh, how many death points did we get? Taking Death Knight. Death points. Powers of Dead. You have a number of points equal to your proficiency bonus. I'm nuts. I forgot that somehow. I somehow managed to forget that. Expend up to 5 death points. Throw a pure orb of hellfire at a point you can see within 120 feet. 120 foot radius sphere. Your charisma modifier. A failed save takes 2d6 fire damage and 2d6 necrotic damage per death point expended. A successful save, the target takes half as much damage. So that is theoretically, if you spend a lot of points on it, if you spend up to 5 hit points on it, that's what, 10d6, 10d6 fire damage and 10d6 necrotic damage per death point. This is now that's a level 12 fucking feat, man. Now that's a level 12 feat, bro. And to take that one, right? You Path of Death initiative followed by any other Path of the Death Knight feat if you choose. So you just need to take Death Knight Initiate, and then you need to pick literally anything else, any other of these feats. Pick one more, which my thing would probably be Harbinger of Doom. Yeah, that's pretty good. Bane is pretty all right, or Fine Steed, and then you pick up this one. Okay, fair enough. Path of the Lich. I think this is cool. I do think this is cool. I want to see more. I would love to see more. Give me a Path of the Vampire or something too. We already had the thing. I know vampires are strong, but like we could do more with this. Give me Path of the Werewolf. Give me Path of the Lycan. Path of the Lycan. Give me it. I'm a furry. I need it. I need Path of the Lycan. I give me Path of the Lycan. I like these. These are cool. Path of the Lich. Spellcasters, blah blah blah. Lich rights. Path of the Lich is unique to each walk in it. Makes sense. You're gonna work the same way, right? Path of the Lich Initiate. Yeah, you work pretty much the same way. Path in Lich Initiate. You take your first steps towards Lichdom, which involve creating your spirit jar, or a magical vessel that anchors your soul to the world of the living in the event of your body's destruction. Intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. Creating your spirit jar. Choose a tiny object of great significance. You roll or choose from the spirit jars table to inspire the object. Spirit jars destruction. Your spirit jars armor class equals your spell save DC, and it has a number of hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier plus your character's level. Your spirit jar is destroyed. You gain 2 exhaustion levels, and you can't use the soul siphon ability until you create a new one. Soul siphon. When you reduce a humanoid enemy to 10 hit points, you can consume its soul and gain a boost of arcane energy. No action required. On your next turn, the first creature you hit with an attack takes extra necrotic damage equal to 1d6 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. You can also gain this benefit if someone else reduces a humanoid within 10 feet of you to 0 hit points. A soul consumed by this way can be restored only by the true resurrection or wish spell. You can be eating people's souls by level 4! You can be eating people's souls by level 4! You need spellcasting or pack magic though, so... That's pretty fucking cool. And then, but you also have to be care of your spirit jar. Take care of your spirit jar. This is like you choose the soul's living to bolster your own power. Right. That's pretty fucking funny. All right, Arcane Restoration, Lich Feat, requires Lich Initiate. You gain the following benefits: Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, Essence, Rejuvenation. When you use Soul Siphon to consume a soul, you can choose one or more expended spell slots to recover. The spell slots can have a combined level of no more than 4. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again. So, oh god, that's... Ooh, for a spellcaster, that's good. Man, being a lich is cool, right? You can do this whenever you reduce. Yeah, you can eat souls at any time of the day, and then you can only use this once again until you finish a short or long rest. But like, you soul siphon, you get soul siphon. You can consume a soul. So also no more than 4. You need 1 or more, but you could expel. You could level 4. No way. This is level 4, and then you would earliest most people would be able to get this is level 8, right? Yeah, this would be level 8. Still, that's pretty good. Transfer life, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma, soul transference. When you use soul siphon to consume a soul, you can choose a creature within 60 feet of yourself to gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus, and plus your spellcasting ability modifier, minimum of 1. Fair enough. That's fine, I guess. I don't know if that would be worth a level 8 feat, a feat slot. But it's definitely not bad. And then this doesn't have a limit either. You can do this pretty much anytime you guys reduce a thing to 0 hit points, and you're within range to consume its soul. You know what? I'm coming around to it. That's not bad. Undead Grasp, Pat Lich Feat, Prerequisite Lich Feat, Initiate Feat. Paralyzing Touch. You know the Chill Touch cantrip. If you already know it, you learn another wizard cantrip of your choice. Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma is your spellcasting ability modifier. When you deal damage with the Chill Touch, you can expend level 1 plus spell slot to attempt to paralyze the target. The target takes an extra D10 necrotic damage, and they must expend a con save or be paralyzed. Hey, not bad. You're basically turning Chill Touch. Oh god, I'm nuts, man. I don't know what it is. Every time I sit down to do a D&D video, my nose gets stuffy and I start yawning all the time. It's only whenever it does this. When I'm playing D&D, I'm locked in. I'm fine. But it's just, yeah, whatever. I'm making excuses. That turns Chill Touch into like a spell. For level of spell slot expended, plus the normal Chill Touch damage, that could not be bad. And then Lich Ascension. Undead. Your creature type is undead. You have the same thing as the other. Frightening Gaze. You learn the fear spell if you don't already know it. You always have it prepared. Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma is your spellcasting ability for this spell. Choose when you select this feat. You can cast a spell without expending a spell slot number. You can cast a spell without expending a spell slot a number of times equal to your spellcasting ability modifier, minimum of once, and you gain all uses when you finish a long rest. And rejuvenation. If you die, you reform in 1d10 days. If you have a spirit jar and aren't revived before then, you gain a new body appearing with all your hit points in the nearest unoccupied space within 5 feet of your spirit jar. That is to be expected. Okay, so I like the paths. I really do. I think they're cool. They're unique. They get unique mechanics. You get death points. We get a soul jar, and we can eat souls at level 4. That's tech. You know the craziest thing? You know the craziest fucking thing? Like, Lich is cool and all, right? You want to be a spellcaster. You need spellcasting or pack magic. But this whole time, I was thinking that, like, Lich might be, like, because you have to be, whenever you kill a thing, no action required. You can absorb as many souls as you want. Yeah, right? And the next turn, the first creature you hit with an attack takes extra necrotic damage. All of these things target your spellcasting stats, right? But theoretically, an Eldritch Knight could be a Lich. A fucking Ranger could be a Lich. A Ranger could be eating souls. A Fighter could be eating souls. Paladin could be eating souls. Fucking, like the Lich could be used on, like, almost all of the classes if you take the subclasses that have spellcasting. Right? An Arcane Trickster can be a Lich! That's pretty neat. Granted, it's not, like, if you want to go all the way, it's not ideal, I guess, for a fighter to be increasing these skills, but the fact that you could, you know what I'm talking about? But no, these paths are cool. I like them. I like the idea. I like that the most of all, what I like about the paths is that they have a unique mechanic to them. Death Knight gets death points. Lich gets Lich Incarnate, or gets the eating souls, soul siphon. You just get to eat souls and then play with whatever that means in your campaign, right? That could be, even though it doesn't really give much extra effect other than this thing of like a stacking bonus. But like, if I was a DM and I knew one of my players was eating souls, fucking I would fuck with that all the time. I would have them. God, these feats almost make me more excited than the fucking subclasses. Even though some of them aren't, like, it's not like, Bane, it's pretty simple. Death Knight's pretty simple. Lich is really interesting. Lich is really interesting. Alright, guys. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see where I want more paths. I want Vampire. I want Lycan. I want Path of the Mind Flayer. Fucking let me become a Mind Flayer. We just had Baldur's Gate 3. Come on. Let me be a Mind Flayer. And then we could go do good paths too. Path of the, like, Angel. Path of the Saints or something. Path of, like, the Spirit Guardian or whatever. It being like a manifestation of life. They need to give me more path feats. Do it more. They might not be ideal, but they are cool. They might not be optimal. I don't know how people are gonna feel about them, but they are neat and I like them. They're cool and I want more. That's what I'm gonna end people off with. And that I think most of the subclasses is pretty alright. Pestilence is fucking wacky. I think Titan Druid needs a full, like, look at it, change almost everything. I mean, including the stat blocks, honestly. Behemoth is alright, but Leviathan and Insect definitely should maybe take be taking a look at, and then all of it, almost all of its features need to be like, give me a little more, because their scaling is not great. Like, I'm big, I'm huge, but I can only cast these spells, and I don't have I'm half tempted to think of why a moon druid would be more combat effective than me. Anyway, this is exciting. I like where things are going. I hope you had a good time. Sorry, I flip-flopped there. I clicked the wrong button. I hope you had a good time watching me getting excited about stuff. And I've got to go, because I got to go play D&D in like an hour and a half. And I'm excited to see what I get up to tonight. But anyway, if you like to see more videos, especially whenever new D&D stuff comes out, or want to see streams and everything, I'm here, you know? If you want to join the community, I've got my Discord server always linked below. If you want to support me in any way, I've got my Ko-Fi down there too. And of course, if you want to see me play a game every week or whatever else I get up to, whenever I decide to stream, because a few streams ago I did some auditions instead live on stream anyway. Yeah, instead. So give me a Twitch follow too, and pop by, because I'm always looking to get towards that Twitch affiliate, start making just a smidge of cash, just a little bit, and like, subscribe, do all that cool YouTube stuff too, because maybe one of these days I'll get monetized, but I probably would have to put a little more effort into videos or hire an editor. I guess I could hire an editor. Anyway, I hope you had a good day, a good night, or a good time zone, wherever you are, and I'll see you whenever else I do stuff. Later.